All right, so we are going to look at situations today. This is lesson 16. Now, usually we'll do situations as partners, but we're going to look at type diagrams that are a little bit different today. So I'm going to show you a couple, and then you'll still come to class and do your problem sets. So, yeah, situations, booyah. All right, so Jordan is icing 30 cupcakes. He spreads mint icing on a fifth of the cupcakes and chocolate on half of the remaining cupcakes, and the rest will get vanilla frosting. How many cupcakes will have vanilla frosting? So we're going to show this in a type diagram. Number one, because there's a lot of information going on here. And number two, I'm going to show you just a different way to look at a type diagram. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show my whole. All right, altogether we know he has 30 cupcakes. All right, I'm going to go ahead and show 1/5 of those as mint. We know that those are mint, 1/5. And there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. Oh, those are straight lines. All right, so here is my 1/5 of mint. I'm just going to show it as an M. Oh, all right, underneath I'm going to show blue just because it's a second tape diagram. So we're going to go underneath to be able to show half. So now this one is already used. So I'm going to start here where the unused ones are. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and divide that by half. Now if you notice, 2 fit into here and 2 fit into here. 4, half of 4 is 2. Anyway, so here is my chocolate. Half of it is chocolate and half of it is vanilla. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to figure out what these are. Okay, now we have our whole, so we can easily figure that out. Right? So we have 30 divided by 5. We'll be able to figure out what each one of those is. And hopefully you're thinking 6. All right? So each one is 6, which also means we can figure out that he made 6 mint. But we don't want to stop there because we're not actually trying to figure out what mint is. We're trying to figure out what vanilla is. So now if you notice, we can figure out what this tape diagram is because we can do 6 times 4 and we get 24. Now, I don't really have a lot of space, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it inside, but ignore it. Right? It's 24. All right, now I can figure out what half of 24 is. I could either do 24 divided by 2 or I could do 24 times 1/2. It's totally up to you. But then I can figure out that it is 12. So, he made 12 chocolate and then 12 vanilla. We have now answered our question because it's asking how many cupcakes of vanilla frosting, and there are a big whole 12. All right, now we can show this numerically. I'm not going to encourage this, but there is a way. And so we're going to look at that real quick just for this first problem here. All right. So looking at our problem here, we want to try to figure out what 1/2 of 4/5 is. That's what we're going to first write down. Now, why did I write 4/5 instead of 1/5? Well, because in our problem here it says remaining. All right. So we don't want to figure out what 1/2 of 1/5 is because we already know it's mint. We're trying to figure out what the remaining cupcakes are. All right. So that's why I have 4/5. All right. Then I'm going to go ahead. Multiply across, okay, and I'll get 2/5 after I reduce, okay. So if you want to go ahead and solve it all the way out, go for it, but you will reduce it to 2/5, okay. But we're not done yet because we have 30 cupcakes. Like we're trying to figure out the actual number, not just the fraction. All right, so we're going to figure out 2/5 of 30. All right, once you figure that out, right, 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 30 6 times, and 2 times 6 is 12. All right, there we go. We got the same thing. All right, now you guys know that I love tape diagrams and I would love for all of you to be able to do tape diagrams all the time, but I do understand later on in life you're gonna move past these tape diagrams, but make sure you understand them because later on you might find they will help you in life. All right, so we're going to change it up a bit. Instead of Jordan putting mint icing on 2/5, or sorry, on 1/5, he's now putting mint icing on 2/5. All right, here's our crazy tape diagram going on here. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing, divide it into fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we still have 30 cupcakes. It's still the same problem, we just changed the fifths. 30. All right, now both of these are mint. Okay. Gonna go ahead and change colors, and then we're gonna come here to our unused ones. Ooh, okay, that's a little too much, but anyway. And then we're gonna look at half again. All right, once again, 30 divided by 5 is still 6, imagine that. All right, 6, 6, and 6. And then if we add all of those up, we get 18 down here, right? Now, we have two different sections here, and we want to figure out what one of them is. So if we do 18 divided by 2, I think we'll probably find our answer. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Right? So then he made 9 chocolate and 9 vanilla. All right, hopefully that makes sense. We're going to go ahead and move on to our last problem. This one is different, very different. So please make sure and pay attention because you'll have to solve these in class with us. So Maya puts 1/4 of her lawn mowing money in savings and uses half of the remaining money to pay back her sister. If she has $15 left, how much did she have at first? So here we go. We're going to work backwards because we don't know how much she has at first. But we're still going to start with the same process. Oh my gosh, that is horrible. I'm going to redo that. All right, we're still going to start with the same process. All right, here's our tape diagram. Now, for our whole, all I'm going to do is I'm going to make a question mark. Right? We don't know what that is yet. Actually, that's what we're trying to figure out. Okay, so she puts 1/4. So we're in fourths. I'm going to go ahead and show fourths. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now I'm going to show that 1/4 of it went into savings. All right, we'll label that as S. Okay, then we're going to come down again here to show half of the remaining. Okay, there we go. Once again, I'm going to divide it into half. All right. So she uses half of the remaining to pay back her sister. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show one of these as payback sister. I'm going to go ahead and put that as a P. And then this is what she has left. That's an L. Okay? So she has $15 left. All right? That's where our number comes in. Now, $15 on this side means that this was half. It's the same thing on this side as well. All right? So if I add these two together, 15 and 15 is 30, which makes these ones, let's see, I'll show it like this, these three as 30. Now, can I figure out what each of them is now? Absolutely. It's 10, right? 10, 10, and 10 is 30. Now, if all of these are 10, what makes the savings here 10? Because they're all the same. So now can I add all of them up to figure out what she had at the beginning? Yeah, 10, 10, 10, and 10 is 40. And there's our answer, $40. All right, so we just went a little bit backwards with this. All right, there we go. Hopefully that makes sense. Once you come into class, you're gonna work on your problem set by yourself, but I will be around to help out with your tape diagrams.